Hello, my name is Kathy Muir. I'm a singer-songwriter, co-producer.
Hi everyone, my name is Jolene Khor. I am a composer for films, animation, television, and games.
Yeah, and today we're going to talk about a new song coming out called Sleep This Night. What was the original creative vision? So my nephew and his wife gave birth to their firstborn a few years ago, and I wanted to try and give them something that I thought they would appreciate, and it's something the little one would hopefully enjoy over time. It wasn't just for a newborn. So I wanted to write a lullaby, and they're now living in Canada, and so I wanted to write a lullaby that would hopefully persuade a little one to fall asleep. So that, or incentivize her to fall asleep, knowing that when she falls asleep, she would dream of lovely, beautiful, wondrous things. So that was really the original creative vision for this song. So I created a piano. It actually started with a melody, just me humming da 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 da, and then it grew into chords that then grew into a rhythmic expression that really suited the song. And we can probably talk about that later a bit, but that's the essence. It was for a little toddler, really, and hopefully persuading her to fall asleep that night and every other night.
Beautiful.
Building the foundation. I guess the original melody now in the song is the harp, which then I had to find a piano piece that would be the bedrock to support the harp. And then I could feel and hear other voices. So I do have some orchestral packages that I think are good and certainly suited the song. So I added in more pieces such as viola and violins. I had a little hi-hat as well that I felt the first verse was to be quiet and the chorus actually was to be very much pared back, but then the second verse would just explore and explode. And I think for me, that was me trying to imagine a child getting excited in her dreams. She's imagining all these wonderful things like chocolate castles and such. So I was happy with it, but I knew that a composition like this is not normally in my wheelhouse, and I needed some experienced arranger stroke composer. And I could only think of one person who's got the experience of composing for 60-piece orchestras, cue Jolene. So I sent Jolene the MP3. She liked it. She already said that she could hear more things. And so I then sent Jolene, this is the technical aspect, I sent her the MIDI files and the audio files and let her get on with it. And then Jolene, you can say the rest, how it evolved.
Well, when I got the piece, it was really beautiful, very whimsical in a way that I felt that it has also its own voice that can be portrayed even more. So what I did was I listened to the piece, I figured out what the chords were in the beginning. Well, Kathy also gave me the chords, and I wanted to see what we can do with those chords.
Yeah.
And then I added layers and layers of the other orchestral instruments such as the double bass, and then the brass, like the horns,
cello, bassoon.
Yeah, there were so many. Well, that was the fun part. Orchestrating the piece is always fun. It really brings off a different color, different texture to the piece, which I felt made it even more special, like a wondrous dream for the little one, which I'm really glad Kathy liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. We'll go into that a little bit more, I think. When I first heard it, I remember having headphones on, and I could feel a tear when
Aww.
I started to hear the second verse. It was so enormous, and straight away it made me feel like the sonic landscape of this was enormous, because I think you kind of filled in gaps I didn't think I had. I mean, the piece was good as it was, but it was small, like a kid. Yeah. It needed to be larger than life. And I think especially like you kept my original instruments and
did.
pieces, the parts that I wrote. But in the second verse, it was a joy for me because we'll talk about the technical probably in the next question that someone's asked us. So we'll maybe stop there and leave it for there.
Yes, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So yes, there's a question here about the technical aspect, how we combine the original with the new. I think I mentioned before I sent you audio files and the MIDI.
Yep.
And then you sent back a couple of weeks later your MIDI.
Yep.
And your audio, because some of our instruments, like I used a felt piano.
Yeah.
And you actually redid the piano piece to make it. You actually played it. Do you remember?
Yeah. I played the new piano version.
Which was great. It was a much cleaner sound. But then I brought it, and this is a good way of working for anyone who's interested in the technical aspect. I brought all your audio and MIDI into a brand new project.
Yeah.
And compared it. And so for me, I heard the MP3 and I loved it, but I was obviously really curious as to what else was in the song. So the joy of being able to see my project in a new project and one by one solo these tracks to see how they built up was a joy for attention to detail, because that's when I could see she's added in a couple of other things here, because there was a perfect little space for a little flourish to be introduced.
Well, I always love my flourishes.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do. And then someone's asked about compromising. Was there anything that needed to be compromised on? No. Because it was more about, wasn't it, expanding the piece.
Well, that, and also I like to keep your voice in the music. I don't want to be my thing. No. This is Kathy's music. I'm just there to really push it as maximum as it can be.
Yeah.
And that's what I want, really.
And it did, and it came to life. And it's a beautiful little piece.
Yeah.
And
I like the way it is, so it's just really adding more flavor to it.
Yeah, it was actually, when I think about it, because we've done a couple of other projects that were a wee bit more complex, it just kept moving in the right direction. It didn't have really issues. The hardest thing was making sure we understood each other's files when we were sending them.
I learned a lot. Yes.
Right, so, gosh, one last question. Final thoughts. Final thoughts about the song and about working together. Well, clearly, I think we worked well together. The song kept its core integrity, but it became something so beautiful and expansive. For me, as I say, I don't normally do collaborations, but certainly with a piece like this that's not in my wheelhouse, it was really nice to be able to learn new things. When you sent back the files and I could put them into my Logic project and see just how much you added in and where was an absolute joy. I really had a good time. And it's good we've got a couple of more projects that we have worked on and that we might do in the future. What about you? What do you think?
I thought it was really fun just to work with you, Kathy. And I learned a lot on the work process, the file management. Those are super important. I learned a lot from you because you're very professional on that part of things. And also having fun and getting back into pop music, because I used to write pop music myself, more on the music side, not on the lyric side. But I haven't been doing that for a while now, but it's nice to get back into it. Yeah,
and even certainly on this, the fact that you redid the piano, but even on some other pieces when you and I have had sessions together of other songs that I've still not released, like hearing you play piano, you're just so light there. You get things straight away, which is great. You have that ability. So I feel also that, I guess, because you listen to all sorts of different music, that allows you to be really flexible.
Yeah, I think the flexibility is always important, especially when you're doing arranging or orchestrating. You need to know, different influences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that, Sleep This Night comes out probably the end of November, it will come out by the early December. There's still quite a lot of other things we've got to do for it. Here's the artwork, and there's even a couple of little videos, but I'll talk about that more in a different video, how I'm trying to create a video for this little toddler.
And I'm super looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's an actual joy working on things that are so soft and genuine, in this world with so much stuff going on. It's really nice to throw yourself into your own imagination and just be playful. I think the child in all of us is something that we should cherish.
Childlike wonder.
Yeah.
It's very important to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you want to say hello, info or Kathy@kathymuir.com. Jolene?
It's www.jolenekhor.com, or you can check me out on Instagram.
Yeah, we're both there. Thanks again for watching and listening. See you
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye.